guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so basically I'm like, let's do a fresh start. Let's really try and actually do YouTube again, because every time I come on I'm like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. My life has, it's in the title, my pretty perfect mess. My life has been a mess for the past 2-3 years, I suppose. I think, you know, the pandemic set us all off kilter, and it set us, myself and my partner, in a completely different direction than we thought we were going in. And now we bought a house. So that's something that we never thought we would be able to do. We thought maybe we might be able to afford an apartment, but we bought a house. We bought a house in Dublin and we're super happy. And after an actual year of stress and viewing and bidding and being sale agreed and then getting the keys and renovations, we're finally in. So we moved in about 2 months ago now, and it's January 2nd, so we've just had Christmas in the new house, and I was absolutely like so insistent on having the house ready for Christmas, and to be honest, we did a good job. And I think, you know, I'm like this whenever we move, and we've moved a lot over the past 5 years, from Dublin to London, from London to Dublin, and then since we've moved back to Dublin, we've moved 4 times. This is our 4th house since moving back, and we're only back, I say we're only back, I feel like we moved back a month ago. We're back 4 years, and we've moved 5 times. 4 times. 4 times, yeah. Yeah, so we moved in 2 months ago, and I was very much set on having it ready for Christmas, and we actually did a really good job. We, you know, all the rooms are painted that people would be in. We only have 1 room left to paint, and like, it's fine, it's livable. It's a spare room, it's where my sisters stay when they stay over, and like, it's fine. We can paint it in a while when we've rested a little bit more. Yeah, so it's been really nice. And I think, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, first Christmas in the new house, and you know, it's such a big deal, and are you delighted, are you excited? And everyone else is making such a huge deal out of this, and it is a big deal. But for me, I have just been so stressed about it for so long, and it's been this huge burden in our lives that I think we hadn't really got to actually enjoy it. And then Christmas came and we were doing a lot of hosting, but actually it has kind of sunk in a bit now that like, this is our house and we live here now and we don't have to leave. And no one can say we need you out because your rent is, or your, you know, your tenancy's up. No one can say we're moving in here, you have to move out. We can stay here for as long as we want to, and we own it, and it's amazing. And I feel like that still hasn't fully sunk in, that like, this is our house. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Basically, I wanted to just talk about my new year intentions and how I plan on not being such a mess. And even though I think I'm always going to be a little bit of a mess, but basically my intentions going forward and my ins and outs, I suppose, because everyone is obsessed with their ins and outs this year. And I've actually really enjoyed like reading people's and watching people's intentions for the new year. And I usually hate New Year, and I kind of still hated it this year, and still had like a massive meltdown, super depressive episode for the last 2 days, where I'm just like having the yearly New Year depression. But it's okay. And you know, I'm trying to remind myself that where I am now is not that bad, and where I want to be is not that far away. And I think, you know, having the house now makes it even more not that far away, because this was the thing that was in the way almost, you know. So I have my phone, and I'm gonna share with you my list of my ins and outs. So first I want to start with like the surface level things, like the things I want to do more of because I have time now, you know. Like for the past 6 months we've spent every weekend renovating this house. We did 90% of the work ourselves. We knocked down walls, I painted every surface, you know, Keith did all of the building except for stuff that, you know, we had to get a licensed professional for because it's like the law, or, you know, it just had to be done. So we've really spent a lot of our time just on this and not really doing anything else, which we're glad we did because now it's, you know, we've seen what we could do and we're really proud of it. But at the same time, we haven't had the chance to go on a hike, or, you know, I haven't been singing and I haven't been painting, and I feel like my creative outlet has really diminished a lot. So in the new year, it's the new year now, I really want to get outdoors and hike more. We even stopped going to parkrun with my dad, which is something we have done like every Saturday for the past 2 years. And then the last 6 months we just kind of stopped because we were like, that time is too precious. We need to get up and we need to go over to the new house and we need to paint and we need to rip carpets out and we need to rip cabinets out. So my sister got me this gorgeous book for Christmas, The Hike Life by Roz Purcell. I love Roz so much. I love her. I have all her cookbooks. I met her in London once at a signing. I'm obsessed with her little dogs, and she has like a company and page called The Hike Life, and she has written a book of the best hikes in Ireland. So I am looking forward to ticking a few of these off the list. I've done probably most of the Dublin ones and surrounding areas, but we definitely want to go on a few more of these, and we'll probably get my dad and sisters to come with us as well on some of them. So that's something I'm really excited to do. It's just spending some time outdoors on the weekends. Like Ireland is such a beautiful place, and even in the rain, like you just shove on a raincoat and you go out anyway. So that's one thing I really want to do. I want to get back to parkrun 100%. Even though I am not the best runner, it's only 5k. You can walk, you can run, you can walk, you can run, you can walk, which is what I always do really. I think I've only ever run the whole thing like once, and that's okay. That's okay because you're still doing 5k. So I can't wait to get back, even though I'm like, oh god, the thoughts of getting back to running. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get back for my mental health as well. And my body is getting so stiff at the moment. I think again from a lot of the manual labor, I'm just very stiff. So I'm looking forward to loosening up my body and getting back to running. Then I want to read more. Reading's another thing that has really fallen by the wayside recently, again just because I've been exhausted. You know, where even after work we would come over here and we would do some work, or you know, we were just absolutely exhausted. So I would just fall into bed at night, and that's when I read, is, you know, just before I go to bed. So now I'm trying to go to bed a little bit earlier and just read 20 pages of my book, because I really enjoy it. And even listening to more audiobooks, I love an audiobook. Great for the bus, great for work if you're doing kind of mindless work that you can just do while, or actually I find it really helpful when I'm doing stuff I need to concentrate on, because my brain works better when I have two things going on, and it helps me concentrate. So I really want to hit my reading challenge this year. I've set it a bit lower than previous years for 15 books, which is just over a book a month. That's doable. Last year I tried for 18, but I only got 7 read, which is not great. But you know what? We did loads of other stuff, so it's fine, we move. So my intentions are more hiking, more running, a park run with my dad, more singing, more reading. Yeah, singing has been one that I, like, if you know me in person or if you've followed me for a long time, you'll know that I lived in London to be a singer, and then just fell out of love with it and fell in love with teaching, but then moved back to Ireland and was teaching a bit, and now I have a job in an office and I miss it. I miss the creativity, I miss like making something, and I miss just like, I miss the life a bit of like being somewhere different all the time, going to different, you know, movement classes or singing lessons or French classes, and I miss that, and I don't think I can get that back in any real way, because that's obviously very much like studying, but I think I can bring singing back in a way that suits me and is better for my life at this stage. Like, I don't think I would ever want to go and be a full-time singer again, because I just don't think it's the life for me. I think it's too uncertain, but I would like it to be in my life again, and I think I never thought that I would want that. So that's nice, and I want to try and get my standard back up to some sort of good, because it's not at the moment, but I'll get it back easily enough. I need to retrain my lungs to breathe properly after, you know, 3.5 years of illness and not singing and not exercising. So yeah, we need to get back to it. And then I also just want to get back into art. I used to draw a lot, and especially over the pandemic I started painting a lot more. I loved art growing up, and I think it's one of those things that as an adult, if you're not doing it professionally, you kind of forget about it and you don't do it for fun anymore, because what are you going to do with the piece of work at the end of the day? You're probably going to put it in the bin or in a folder somewhere, and I don't know, maybe I'm very literal and negative about it, but I've always felt like, oh well, I'm not selling it, I'm not, you know, putting it on my wall, so what's the point? The point is that you enjoy it. So I'm really trying to look at things a bit more of a, what's the point? The point is it makes you happy, and that's something that's like a bigger intention I have, of that you don't have to always do something for a reason or for a gain or for, you know, to sell something, or it can just be because you love it, and it can just be because it makes you happy. So yeah, like I remember we had a teacher when I studied in Dublin, and a singing teacher, and he would ask us why do we sing, and you know, people were kind of like, because we like singing, because someone has to sing, because someone has to pass down the melodies, and it's like, because we want to entertain. And I love that, because that is how that's why I sang. It's because I loved entertaining. I loved getting up on stage. I loved being the center of attention, and I think that's why I like, you know, being on Instagram and making videos, because I actually love performing, and that's something I really miss. That's something I miss. So let's see, I also want to be more confident. I feel like I have lacked confidence a bit over the last couple of years, because I felt a bit lost in what I'm doing. Like, I'm not a singer, I'm not a teacher, and it doesn't feel like me. So I want to be more confident in who I am, and that my job doesn't define me, no matter what it is, no matter if it is singer or teacher or administrator, that's not who I am, you know. And I think that's something that when you're a creative professional, you really hold a lot of your worth against your title, and who you are is your title, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to bake and cook more, which I'm so excited to do in the new house. So for a housewarming gift, my parents bought me a KitchenAid, and I'm so obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with it. I'm loving baking with it. I'm loving the new layout of the kitchen. It's just so much fun to cook and baking, and I'm already baking and cooking a lot more. I also got a Le Creuset pot off one of my aunties for a housewarming gift, and I cannot stop cooking in it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the Le Creuset pot, you've seen the KitchenAid, because I cannot stop. I'm obsessed. Maybe I'll bake some brownies tomorrow. And then I also want to travel more. I want to travel so much more. myself and my partner, we just want to see the world, and since being together we have done really well over the last 10 years in traveling on such a low budget and seeing amazing places. And just last year, because we were putting all our money into the house, we just didn't get to go on as many trips as we would have liked. And like, that being said, we still got to go on 3 trips, which some people don't get to go on, but we want to do more, you know, and we want to see more places we've never seen, and we want to go to Japan and do bigger trips, and we want to go to America and yeah, just do bigger, more adventurous trips now before, you know, we start a family. So that's a really big one. And then I've also just said, like, keeping on top of the house, so keeping it clean and not letting it get like dirty or messy, because I find that it gets to a stage where I get overwhelmed. So if I just keep on top of it and like pick up after myself and empty the dishwasher and, you know, clean the counter after making a sandwich, or clean up after dinner and not leave it till the next day, little things like that make it so much more achievable to actually keep a clean house. Because if you leave it till the next day, I get overwhelmed because it's so bad, or if I don't hoover for a week and then I'm like, oh my god, I can't do it. So yeah, just keeping on top of it so that it doesn't get out of hand. And then just looking after my health a bit more in general. And like, I do mean exercising, and I do mean eating well, but I also mean like going to the doctor and insisting that something is wrong if I feel something is wrong, because I've had some experiences where I've gone and they're like, there's something wrong with you, and there has been. And I just, now that I'm getting a little older, I'm nearly 30, I want to just look after myself a bit more, and I want to, you know, look after my teeth more and make sure I get my eyes tested on time, and just little things like that, to not put them off and just go and look after myself like a good adult, which is hard, which is very hard. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. We just have to be okay. And then my outs for 2024, which are pretty general. Anxiety. I'd very, very much like to be less anxious in 2024. And I think since moving in here, I have relaxed a bit. Keith has said it, that I seem lighter and that my face is aging backwards because I'm losing the wrinkles that I've gained from the past year of stress. I don't know how true that is. Maybe it's just a new moisturizer. But yeah, I would really like to be less anxious this year. And I think with a little less uncertainty, that's hopefully possible. I want to stop comparing myself to others, because I feel like, you know, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with scrolling endlessly on social media, in that like I shouldn't compare myself to someone else's highlight reel, because it is in fact their highlight reel, and you don't know what else is going on in their head, or you don't know what else is going on in their life. And even people in real life as well, friends that I went to college with who are still singing, or, you know, friends who are getting married, or having a baby, that kind of thing, and comparing myself to them, be like, why don't I have that, or why am I going on that trip to America, or things like that. And I need to stop and be grateful for what I have, because that's not my life. This is my life. And there's the comparison game. It's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous, dangerous place. And then also measuring my worth up against my social media statistics. And I think this kind of comes into the same thing of like, why has that person got however many followers and I don't? Or how has that person gained 4,000 followers in the last week and I can't gain 4? That kind of thing. And I just think like it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. And it's all luck. And I know there's all of these, you know, oh, if you just do this, oh, if you just do that, I've done it all. And it's actually just like, if I create good content that I like, that I'm happy with, I shouldn't be worrying about the statistics of it. And yeah, I would really like to start making an income off it and making it plausible to be a full-time job. But you know what, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. I just need to keep putting the work in and not comparing myself to others. That's the end of it. That is the end of it. Another thing about that though, I do want to try and be a bit more consistent. My Instagram's been really consistent over the past year, despite maybe not like being the best, and I want to prioritize my creativity over, not even over consistency, but I think in the past year or so I've struggled because you can see if I'm not in the best place mentally and I create content that's like a still post or, you know, a portrait that I've created, you can see that I'm not feeling it. You can see that it's a fake smile. And I think I've just been like, well, I have to post, so it's fine. Whereas now I'm really trying to just be like, you know what, I don't have to post. I really don't, and I need to actually post this because I want to post it, and not because I can't not post today. You know, I need to just remember that actually I'm a human, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. Obviously, if I have a collaboration or something and I have to meet a deadline, that's a different story. But I'm really gonna try and make all my organic content and all my content in general more organic and fit into my life and just be a bit more honest about it all. And I think that's something I veered away from a little bit in the last 6 to 12 months, just because I haven't been feeling myself and I haven't wanted to share that. And I used to share that a lot more, but stopped. I think I just felt like I was being a moan. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, on the back of that as well, like I really want to get back to YouTube, and I also started a podcast last year at like the worst possible time in my life, because I was like, I want to start a podcast. I still want to continue that podcast. I think I did 3 or 4 episodes and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the mental space. I don't have the time to edit. I don't have the time to post. And I thought that I could make time. I thought that I could use it as, well, I have to do this for me. But it just doesn't work like that sometimes, you know? So hopefully this year I can get back to it. That would be good. And then some other outs, feeling guilty for resting, big one for me. If I get sick, I feel guilty instantly. If I need a rest and the dishwasher needs to be emptied, or I need a rest and the wall needs to be painted, I get so mad at myself and I'm like, I need to paint that, and I don't. Like, I'm allowed to rest, you know? I'm allowed to spend the day on the couch watching TV on a Sunday if I need that rest time, and I need to not feel guilty about that. Drinking too much caffeine. I've gotten quite good at this, at balancing my caffeine so that I can have 2 caffeine-filled beverages a day. So I'll have my morning coffee, and then usually I'll have a second coffee at like lunchtime or just after lunchtime, or if I'm in the office I might have it at like 11, and I need that. But if I do that, then I have to drink caffeine-free Coke. There can be no full caffeine Coke after I've had 2 coffees, because I get a headache, I get jittery, I get stressed. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. So 1 to 2 caffeine a day. Let's maybe say I'm gonna try and bring it down to 1, but I just love coffee, so I think 2 is okay. And then just my last one is people pleasing. I have grown up a people pleaser. I think a big reason I love performing is because I like to please people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that in some ways, in that, like, you know, I like entertaining, I like hosting. I just enjoy that. I enjoy making people happy, and I enjoy like giving gifts and making people presents and, you know, things like that. I love doing that. But I think there are definitely some aspects where you can't please everyone and you're just gonna hurt yourself trying. So like in work, or you know, on social media, or even like in life in general, if they can't be pleased, they can't be pleased. And that's not a me problem, that's a them problem. And I need to really just remember that. You can't please everyone. And that's okay. You're not everyone's cup of tea, Robin. You're not everyone's cup of tea. And that has been something I've really been working on, is just like trying to remember that not everyone has to like you, and that's okay, because I don't like everyone, you know? So if I don't like everyone, they don't have to like me, and that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna drop my phone. And I think that's it. So let me know what your intentions are for 2024. You can DM me on Instagram, you can hit me up on Threads, you can comment here, let me know. And I'd love if you did follow me on Instagram and TikTok at My Pretty Perfect Mess. And I will see you next time. Hopefully I will post again in the next 2 weeks. Bye.